What's up, everybody? This is IQWrestler. I just want to do a quick rundown of UFC 127 that happened the other day. This is my first vlog, so if it sucks, I'm sorry. I'm sure they'll get better. First fight I want to talk about is Mark Hunt versus Chris Tuchscherer. Mark Hunt really needed this win. But I thought Chris Tuchscherer would employ a bit of a Ishida game plan and just go relentless takedowns non-stop. He didn't. He actually stood with Mark Hunt for most of the fight. So props to him for that. But in the second round, he had an uppercut. It was from hell. It turned his head like The Exorcist. It was fucking brutal. So Mark Hunt gets the win. Much needed win. He hadn't won in like 5 years. So raw Mark Hunt. Next fight was T-Train Zhang versus Jason Reinhardt. Reinhardt was brought in to lose, and he did in about 20 seconds by a guillotine choke. So not much to talk about there. Anthony Perosh submitted Tom Blackledge. I like Perosh. He's a tough dude, an Aussie. So yeah, it was good to see him get a win. Ricky Fukuda did defeat Nick Ring. The results say otherwise, but this was fucking shocking. This might be the worst decision I've ever seen. That fight wasn't even remotely close. The judges ought to be ashamed of themselves. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's pissing me off. Alexander Gustafsson defeated Jamie Tahuna. I thought he would win. He's a bright prospect. And Jamie gassed, like, straight away. It was terrible. A pretty good win there for Alexander. Ross Pearson defeated Spencer Fisher by unanimous decision. This was a pretty good fight. Fisher's getting up there. He's got a lot of ring wear. He's been in some wars. And Pearson is a solid up and comer. So it was a good fight. Next, Kyle Noak annihilated Chris Camozzi. Camozzi was coming off a robbery win over Dongy Yang. And Noak pretty much annihilated him. He picked up the win by a rear naked choke. Brian Ebersol defeated Chris Lyle by decision. Wow, who saw this coming? Ebersol was a late replacement for injured Carlos Condit, and he's crazy, man. He does some wild shit, like cartwheel kicks and stuff. Lyle looked really bad. Apparently he had knee surgery only a few weeks prior to the fight, so that may have been why he looked very flat. But he seemed tentative. It seemed like Ebersol, his rhythm was so weird that Lyle just didn't know what to do. When Lyle let his hands go, he looked really good. I thought he should have done more of that. He didn't, and he had a huge knee in the second round that did knock him out for a second. But you know, he's a tough bastard. So you know, Episode settled for the decision. You know, Episode looked really good. I like this guy. I hope UFC give him some more fights. Next up was Dennis Siver defeated George Sotiropoulos. I expected George to win. I thought he would get the submission. I knew round one would be very, very dangerous for him because he's such a slow starter. He always starts painfully slow, and he got knocked down like 3 or 4 times. But credit to him for surviving. And he came back and made it a close fight, but he couldn't get the takedown, which pretty much decided this fight. You know, he had to stand receiver, and you know, he made it close, but it wasn't enough. A bit of an upset here. I know UFC were probably hoping that George would win so they could throw him into a title shot. But, you know, Siver looked good. He did gas out a little bit. You know, he looked really good, and his takedown defense was nice. Then in the co-main event, it was Michael Bisping and Jorge Rivera. There was some entertaining trash talk before this fight, but the fight was rubbish. Bisping drilled Rivera with an illegal knee, and to his credit, you know, Jorge did try to continue, you know, but he was out of it from there, and Bisping got a technical knockout. After the fight, Bisping did one of the most disgusting things I've seen in a long time. He went over and spat at Jorge Rivera's corner. You know, there's no place for that in the sport anymore, and it was just disgusting. You know, it's all good to hype the fight before the fight, but once the fight's over, you know, you put it behind you. Look at Don Fry and Ken Shamrock. All the shit they talked, and after their fight, you know, they hugged and sorted it all out like men. So, shame on you, Michael Bisping. I wish you nothing but the worst. And then the main event, John Fitch and BJ Penn went to a draw. You know, I agree with the decision of a draw. I thought Penn took rounds 1 and 2, and round 3 was probably a 10-8 in my book for John Fitch. BJ just did nothing the whole 3rd round, and that's what cost him the fight, really. BJ looked good, you know, he implemented a wrestling heavy game plan which no one expected, and he did really, really good. You know, a draw. There'll probably be a rematch. I don't really care. I don't want to see it, really. The fight wasn't very entertaining. But it is what it is. That was UFC 127. You know, it was okay. You know, average. I don't regret watching it like fucking UFC 119. I don't want my time back. But, you know, that was it. Some other news. Um, Roxanne Modafferi, who's one of my favourites. She's a really, really cool chick. Lost to Rosie Sexton over in Cage Warriors in the UK. It was a really good fight though. The women, man, women MMA fighters, they just go for it, you know, they don't care. They just like to put on great fights, so props to them and props to Cage Warriors. Roxy will be back. She's a warrior. Paul Daly won over in Bama 5 against Shirai, the Deep champion. Wow, you know, I was predicting maybe a Shirai upset. But Paul Daly smashed him. Looks like he'll fight Nick Diaz next in Strikeforce for the welterweight title, which will be a really good fight. You know, that's tough on the call. Strikeforce coming up very soon, this weekend I think. Dan Henderson versus Frazier, but I'll do another blog covering that. Shoutouts to Team Takeover. Shoutouts to Brittany Ann MMA. You are the best. I fucking love you, man. And you know why. Shoutouts to Bloodstain Lane. Shoutouts to all my boys at Russell HQ. Ollie, CJ, Jesse, PRM. You guys are awesome. That's about it. I'll see you next time.